Flamin' Dragon Friday, baby.
It is.
Got a hell of an episode. We're going to have a little Henne this morning, a little Chad Henne.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible with Chadwick. But I do want to give a shout out to a family friend of ours. We all know him, Mark Aston.
There he is.
Say, who is Mark Aston, Jake? Who is this man? Does he run a country? Does he own a ship company?
He could.
No, he could probably.
Ship company.
Probably. But he is in the top 3 now to become the new PA guy for the Atlanta Braves.
Let's go, Mark.
Right now.
Look.
I'm telling you right now, if anybody in this world, planet or universe, has a voice to be a PA guy, it's our buddy Voma, voice of Mark Aston.
And he's a Braves fan.
And he's huge, lives 15 minutes from the ballpark.
Let's go.
No, it's a perfect guy to get it. I think the voting, I think they're doing voting. So you need to go vote for Mark Aston, even if you don't even know anything about the Braves.
Yeah.
You want to do a good thing? You want to do the right thing today? Number 1, wake up and decide men don't need to be playing against women's sports. I mean, they're locked.
Obvious.
Second thing you do is you go vote for Mark Aston to be.
I want to vote.
I'm gonna vote.
Where can I vote?
They don't give it to him. Jake and David have both said they're going to make it public that they would no longer root for the Braves.
No, that's
They both said that. Take that to the bank.
Hold on.
No.
You take that to the bank.
Hold on.
They don't give it to Mark.
Who would I root for?
You want to get disappeared?
The Yankees?
Real quick around here?
The Yankees?
What are the banana slugs or whatever the hell they're called?
The Savannah Bananas.
Speaking of that,
Ooh, I want to say real quick though, I found out Savannah has a minor league hockey team.
really?
Really?
Or, yeah,
What are they called?
The Ghost Pirates.
Much
better.
The Xander Gobart?
See that,
I'm getting a jersey for the studio.
dude? They're the Ghost Pirates.
Ghost Pirates.
That is okay. That's
Savannah
some high
Ghost
quality.
Pirates.
That's what's so great about the minor leagues. You can name it anything. It's like, hey, guess what? We're the Denver pickled butts.
Do they know where they can go vote for Mark Aston?
Mark Aston,
You know?
you just go vote for him.
Just go outside and scream it.
You scream it.
Go outside.
Walk outside and scream Mark Aston.
I declare
That's
bankruptcy.
exactly right. Super Bowl champion and now retired NFL quarterback Chad Henne is going to join us today. Purdue falls to Maryland for its 2nd consecutive loss, and we'll break down the Daytona 500 betting lines and if they might turn right every once in a while. And we're also taking your live calls at 8:15 a.m. Eastern, so get ready to talk to us. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. Now, I saw recently where the ladies at The View had this to say about the 2 quarterbacks who just competed in the Super Bowl. Let's run the clip.
The only thing that would have made it better for me is, finally we know that black quarterbacks can lead teams. And are smart enough to lead teams. I would like to see.
I always knew that. That was never a question. We knew that. But, it takes people a minute to catch up.
How about some black owners? Some black owners.
Does somebody want to tell these people it's not 1950 anymore? It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's so easy to pick their terrible takes apart from this clown car that they call The View. But first, what an unbelievably disrespectful thing to say to the black quarterbacks who have played in the Super Bowl. Guys like Doug Williams, Donovan McNabb, Steve McNair, and even their cultural hero, Colin Kaepernick. Now, the easiest way to defeat this false narrative is by using that same logic back to them. For example, how can you call a league racist against African Americans when 70% of the players in the league are African Americans? By your logic, technically the NFL is racist toward every race but African Americans. It's a terrible argument. It doesn't make sense. Now, these are the same people that also say the owners in the NFL are racist because they don't hire black coaches. I'll use your logic again. How can the owners be racist against African Americans when 70% of the players in the league and the group that makes the most money are, ding, 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 African Americans? Your math is bad and your logic is flawed. Now, the NFL is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and they do have a lot of problems. But this false narrative is just that. It's false. And Whoopi Goldberg, whose birth name just ironically happens to be Karen, once again could not be more wrong. But let's be honest here. There's some very smart actresses and actors out there. Whoopi Goldberg just isn't one of them. Now, I know that people don't go to The View for sports analysis and probably shouldn't go there for anything other than the same thing you use EPCAC for, but they aren't alone in espousing this nonsense. You see it all over mainstream sports media. So that's the easiest way to defeat what continues to be one of the biggest lies about the NFL. I'm bringing my co-host David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane. Guys, we see this all the time.
Thank you.
What's the over-under at?
I was wondering whether or not that counted or not.
What's the over-under at? What's the over-under?
4.5.
The monologue.
I know. 4.5 for both of us.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
4.5.
We're done. We're done. If you don't know, if it's the first time seeing the show, it's Flamin' Dragon Friday. I cannot refer to my brother by his government name. He can only be referred to as Flamin' Dragon. So that was me showing you guys the rules here on Friday. So the over-under is 4.5.
I think we need to put a 10 spot on it just to, really have some skin in the game.
Let's have some skin. I'll put a C note on.
Yeah,
it.
where's my $20 at, David?
Oh, I do owe you 20.
Double or nothing.
We'll
right
double
here.
or nothing.
Double or
today.
nothing today. The under's
sure?
gonna hit. Under's gonna hit.
Because I have $20.
Under's gonna hit.
I'll give you $20.
I'm absolutely locked. But we see this all the time on ESPN and all these guys. Stephen A. Smith and all these guys get up and talk about how racist the NFL is. But the math doesn't add up. How can a league that's the most important part of the league, the players, that's the most important part, the highest paid part of the league, that's the players. Mm-hmm. How can a league be racist against a certain group when 70% of the personnel and the highest paid is that group? Explain it to me, please.
On the Stephen A. Smith front, we have a clip we're going to play of his later. Stephen A. to me calls it like he sees it a good bit of the time, and then some of the other times he's doing what you're talking about. So half the time I'm a big Stephen A. Smith.
That's the hardest part about Stephen A. Smith.
We'll get to him in just a little bit. On the issue of the comments from The View here, it seems like a desperate attempt to create a demand for racism that doesn't necessarily exist. Now, I don't know how much they keep up with professional football. It seems to me as if like all of the great black quarterbacks who've competed and won the NFL, like you mentioned in your open, it seems like they didn't have that information prior. They just heard this narrative.
It's
the first time with the two black quarterbacks. Yeah. So they sort of ran with that. In addition to all of the great the great names that you just mentioned there in your open, currently of the top 5 highest paid quarterbacks, 4 are black.
I know, it's wild.
That's the thing about the NFL, and the irony of the situation is that professional football and football writ large help lead the way for racial integration in this country, precisely because it is a meritocracy. That's what's interesting, and when you hear like that, to me, really points out what I think it exposes the hypocrisy of this term equity, right? When you hear like diversity, equity, and inclusion, because if we got that, like you pointed it out the best, there's a math problem here in this situation. If there were true equity in the NFL, I mean, 6.5% of America's population is black men. Well, then 6.5% of the NFL would be black men instead of 70%.
Yeah.
If you had meritocracy. I think it's 12.5% of head coaches in the NFL are black men, which then just leaves you with the final point that she said, which is, well, how about some more black owners? To which I say, buy a team.
Yeah.
Like there's rich black ladies on the show there. Buy a team. It's as if they think the NFL is just like handing out ownership or something.
Yeah,
like it's just like you buy anything else. Buy one.
And again, on The View, to go back to your point, if you put Joy Behar's brain in a dog, it'd walk backwards. I mean, these are legitimately incompetent people, and they live outside of reality where they don't understand normal problems that go on in society. So I take what they say with a grain of salt, and if it would have just been them, Flaming Dragon, I wouldn't have even brought this up. Because, I'll let stupidity lie with stupidity. But we see this all the time. When does it stop? When just every coach and every owner and every player in the league is black? Like, what do you want?
Sounds like they talk about being equal, but I don't know if they want things to be equal.
No.
They don't.
No.
They want it all. They want all the players to be black. They want all the coaches to be black. They want all the owners to be black. And look, I've said this about The View, and I just don't know how The View's still on TV. I really don't know how this thing's still going. I said this. You lock people in a room, give them a national platform for people who have dementia and are obviously racist, and let's see if we can take over the world. And you can see that with just in America in general. Stephen A. Smith, the one thing Stephen A. Smith does that I have to give him somewhat credit for is he plays both sides of the fence extremely well.
He does.
Yeah. One day, hell, I saw Stephen A. Smith on Hannity. the other day.
Different, way different.
Yeah, just the complete tone and attitude and the things he's saying. And then he goes to ESPN.
I don't think it's racist.
And just everything that they talk about, it's not about sports, but they just push the narrative of racism. So Stephen A. Smith, I mean, kudos to be able to play in both sides, but the view, I'm not surprised by these people at all. They don't want equality.
When you talk about equality or the new word equity, like I don't ever hear a demand for there to be 2 Japanese quarterbacks.
No, you never hear that. Or Jewish quarterbacks.
Like that's my point.
It's absolutely, it's to the point now it's almost laughable because it is a math problem. You can't argue against it. What's your argument against it? Oh, well, we need 70% of the coaches to be black. Like what? Like you want, again, it's a reach to try and find a way to make something racist because they know it sells. Race baiting sells. And when you call it out for what it is, and you actually look at the numbers and it makes you like, wow, the NFL's not racist. And I always laugh. Oh, well, they say, oh, well, these owners are these white, money-hungry pigs. Oh, really? They're white, money-hungry pigs. Okay, well, 70% of the league's players who get the most money. The players make more money than the coaches in the NFL. The players run the NFL. All right, there's a lot of positives to being a player in the NFL. It's 70% African American. Like, what in the hell are you talking about? Like, I see people like Ryan Clark, and the thing is, if some of these people were dumb, I would just say it's dumb. But some of these people are smart. And they know they're wrong.
No,
they
you
know
make
they're
a good
wrong,
point.
but it's just red meat. Here, come and get the racist
it's an
white
important
NFL
point, though.
owners.
It's
come
an
get them.
important
They're
point.
evil, the
Like,
worst.
If the owners are money-hungry capitalists, then they then can't be discriminating
That's my whole point.
because they're making the decisions that will make the most money. Or like we've seen, you said back in the 1950s, there were NFL owners who discriminated against players and coaches based off race. They got pushed out because they weren't winning games.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. The good thing about it, though, is this is an outside problem. This is a problem on The View and things like that. This is not a problem inside the locker room.
No.
Like, these guys love each other. Like, that's the part most people who haven't played ball don't understand.
That's very true. And I wish that people could really, really understand that. And I want to get to the Booster Club to ask them about this in a second. But something else I do understand. All right, I'm not a mixologist by any stretch of the imagination.
You're not.
Now, I've watched John Taffer go into a bar, bring a mixologist in there. Hey, well, I make a mojito. Let's, turn the cup over a couple times. I can't do that. So I turn to our friends at Bartesian. Because at Bartesian, you can become an at-home mixologist. All right, with Bartesian's cocktail mixer, you get free cocktails and free shipping when you text CRAIN to 64,000. That's CRAIN to 64 with 3 zeros behind it. And if maybe you're late on your Valentine's Day gift, or you want to give her a great gift or give him a great gift in general, head over to Bartesian and get the Bartesian. Put the cocktail shaker down and text CRAIN to 64,000. Now, message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. We have one at the house. Somebody on Twitter tagged me in a tweet making an old fashioned. It's very similar to the way a lot of people make their coffee now, but it's with alcohol. Y'all know what I'm saying? Push the button and let's get to drinking.
Let's do it.
Nothing like a good old fashioned.
Nothing like a good old fashioned. We love it so much. And after a long day, get a freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktail at just the touch of a button. It makes premium cocktails easier than making a cup of coffee.
It's Friday,
Think
right?
about that at a tailgate. It's Flamin' Dragon Friday.
Huh.
Look, if you have a drink right now, I'm like, it's 6:43 a.m. Central, which means somewhere in China, they're pissed, and it's 6:43 in the afternoon. At least I think that's the way that works.
Yeah.
But either way, text CRAIN to 64,000. Flaming Dragon, what's going on in the club?
Let's go to Dabo Sweeney. He says, hype me up, Blaine. Let's go feeling jacked and tan. You love feeling jacked and tan
Dabo
on
in
a
the
Friday.
chat.
Love to see that. Let's go to Stephen Moore. What's up, Stevie? So their definition of racism is completely different than the actual definition of racism. They call it racist until they have full control. Everything they want is to control is racist.
Yeah, it's, again, I think it's a trick. I'm really starting to learn it's a trick, because how do you answer that?
Mm-hmm.
What's the rebuttal to that? If I told you, hey, if I ran into a building and said, guys, guess what? Guess what? At this company across the street, 70% of the employees, all white. You know what they'd say? Racist? Racist against African Americans and Chinese people and the Dutch and all that. But you come in and say, oh, 70% black. Oh, you get a standing ovation. Hell, LeBron James probably show up.
The mind-blowing part, though, is that mindset doesn't cut down racial lines to me. Like, we have a ton of black friends who think that this is nonsense.
Yeah, well, see, like, the way I look at it, and I know you feel the same, I don't have black friends. I don't have white friends. I don't have Asian friends or Mexican friends. I have friends. Like, I don't look at people and I'm like, oh man, hold on. Wait, I got 6 black friends right now. I need 7 to hit my quota. Let me just go walk around and find a black person to be friends with. No, if I like your personality, if I like your character, if we have things in common, even if we don't, we can be friends. I don't want to hit a quota system. That's half the problem when you sit there and count saying, all right, well, we're good here. I got enough friends in this category and people in this category and people in this other category. That's half the problem because everybody's so afraid if they don't, they automatically state it with, oh, well, I have black friends. Oh, gay people love me.
I don't
like
have
what?
friends.
Yeah, like Blaine's dead inside.
I don't have friends. I have family. Yes! Yes!
man.
This is starting good early, boys.
I'm done.
We gotta start. We gotta.
Done talking to him. Let's go.
Yes,
Me and you right here.
sir.
Right
I
here.
gotta have my own player prop.
David,
I need my own player prop.
No, David, come here.
No, Cal Kenny took your under TTP.
Dude, somebody take my TTP.
No, we're good.
Please.
Hold on. Where's my? Here it is.
Oh, I don't have friends, guys. I have family. Y'all know that. Let's go to Deacon and Nora. What's up, Deacon and Nora? Hashtag Ask Crane Company. Knowing that the Denver Broncos have signed Sean Payton, can they make it to the playoffs?
I think they have the personnel to make it to the play. It's going to come down to Russell Wilson. I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. Look, I like Jerry Jeudy. I like some of the defensive pieces they have. I mean, Surtain Jr. and some of the guys they got running around, you feel good about it. It's just Russell Wilson. Was last year the anomaly, or was his whole career before that, the anomaly with the system that he was in with Pete Carroll and the Seahawks? So it's going to come down to whether Sean Payton can fix Russell Wilson. I like what he's done so far. Quarterback coach, you're not a part of the organization. You're not going to be in the office. Russell Wilson, you're not a coach. You're not going to have your own office. We're all in this thing together. It's going to come down to Russell, and at this point, we don't know yet. I would like to err on the side of mostly what I've seen in the past with him have success and say, oh, last year's just a one-off. Nathaniel Hackett couldn't hack it. That's why they told him to take his stuff and go pack it. Yeah, I am Dr. Seuss. But it's going to come down to Russell Wilson. We'll see.
The good thing is Sean Payton isn't having to revitalize the defense as well.
No,
that defense is legitimate. So work on Russell Wilson, and I do think that they can make the playoffs. One problem they're going to have, though, is I don't see them winning the AFC West, right? So you're looking at one of the wild card spots, and when you look around the rest of the AFC, the Bengals are going to be there, and even if the Bengals win their division, the Ravens aren't going away. The Steelers aren't going away. Let's say the Bills win the AFC East. The Dolphins are still going to be in the mix. You're going to have the Patriots in the mix. So that's really what makes it tough if you're trying to get a wild card spot in the AFC.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's go to Dakota Blackburn. Hashtag what's up, Dakota? What do the Ravens do about Lamar, and do you see him staying or leaving this offseason?
Well, I mean, if you're the Ravens, if you don't keep Lamar, what are you going to do? Like, what's your answer? You got no pieces, really, outside of Mark Andrews at tight end. You can go win a Super Bowl with Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay. Lamar, you have to have Lamar J. You bring in Todd Monken, I like the hire, after Greg Roman moved on after a great stint there in Baltimore. But if you're the Ravens, this is why Lamar Jackson has the high ground. You got to pay this man. Like, eventually you have to pay this man. You can try and say, well, we're an organization built on team togetherness and toughness and everybody in the scene together. You got to pay Lamar Jackson. Or y'all about to win nothing. All right, Roquan Smith, great out on defense. Y'all have a chance to have a great defense. Even more incentive to make sure you have the guy that makes your offense go. And hopefully that system gets spread out a little bit more as opposed to what it's been when it's so condensed, tight end, running back, Lamar Jackson take off, and Devin Duvernay run a 9 route because Rashad Bateman can't stay healthy. So at the end of the day, what's your alternative if you're the Ravens? What are you going to do?
Y'all like Todd Monken as OC there now?
Yeah, I do. I like Todd.
No, yeah, I do. It's just
he needs Lamar.
Ravens, like what? You go back to this. What have you been drafting for? I go back and look at their draft picks. I mean, what have you been doing? You haven't been drafting to help Lamar. You've been drafting tight ends and defense. That's it. So I don't understand what's the strategy behind this. You have Likely, who's a great.
I like him.
He's going to be a great tight end with Mark Andrews. But what's your strategy when it comes to this offense? Because if you're Todd Monken, can you imagine if you're Todd Monken walking in with no elite receivers and no Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, going from Georgia and having that where you have the best personnel.
You'll have better personnel at Georgia.
I mean, it's some spots. I'll
one of the
admit
things we did say about Georgia was the lack of elite wide receivers this past year. Now, Ladd McConkey really came into his own, but it was a similar situation where Brock Bowers is your best playmaker on the team. I don't know. I like the move of Todd Monken and Lamar Jackson, but I wonder if Todd Monken took that job with some sort of
you would have to
inside
think so, right?
information
You have to know something.
in the contractual negotiation with Lamar Jackson.
You would. There's no way that there wasn't.
Because apparently Lamar and the Ravens organization, they're not close.
Especially at that position.
They're not
like
close.
at the quarterback position. When you're the OC, that's the one who's got you in the vice. He's gonna determine how well you do.
Let's go to Jimbo Eagle. What's up, Jimbo? Question from the Craning Company. He says, who would you guys say is the greatest backup quarterback of all time?
Chad Henne.
There we go.
Who's coming on in approximately about 20 minutes.
All right.
Now he did start at the beginning of his career, so that
Well, right. We're
I don't
talking
know.
right now.
I don't really know.
Well, make sure-
I don't know.
I just read what's in the chat.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well.
All right, let's go to Travis Owen. What up, Trav? He wants to know, would Houston still be the best team in the country if they had to play in the SEC?
I think they'd have a couple more losses. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say the American's better than the SEC. When you look at the depth of the conference, there's some really good teams in the American, and I like what they're doing over there. But yeah, I mean, Houston lost to Alabama. In the SEC, just like in the Big Ten, just like you see in the ACC and in the Pac-12 and in the Big 12, it's tough to go on the road and win. I mean, there's some environments and some venues and the personnel and the coaches. You look at the SEC, just to point it out specifically, look at the upgrade in coaches that we've seen in SEC basketball. Now, Kermit Davis is about to get fired at Ole Miss, and I think they may hire Rick Pitino. Imagine that, bringing Rick Pitino to Ole Miss with the rest of the guys you have now in the SEC. Coach Cal, maybe the 6th, 7th best coach in the conference by the time this thing gets done. I already think he's 5th, maybe even 6th right now. But, yeah, they would have more losses. It's just gravity, man.
All right, let's go to Tatinda Ziambi.
Nice.
New to the NFL, made my way to this channel through the Daily Wire. Welcome.
Yes.
Can someone explain the holding call in the Super Bowl? I would think if the receiver can't get to the ball, the call shouldn't stand. Let's go ahead and.
Well, look, some people will say that because the receiver was held, he wasn't able to get to the ball. That's the reason you see some flags. When it comes down to the nuts and bolts of holding, was it by definition technically a hold when you watch it? Yes. He grabbed with that right hand and pulled a little bit. But there's holding on every play. We have to understand this. There's holding up front. In that same play, if you look at the left tackle for the Chiefs, he grabs the defensive end from the Eagles by the face mask and turns the helmet. Should have been illegal hands to the face on the Chiefs, but it wasn't called. Why? Because every penalty doesn't get called, or there'd be a penalty called on every play. That's why I go back to what I've been saying. Call the game at the end like you call it the beginning. Consistency is the deal in any sport across the board when it comes to officiating. At least let me know how the game is going to be played. Therefore, I can adjust. Don't change it up the way you're calling the game just because it's at the end of the game. And that's my beef with it.
All right, let's go to Chris E. What's up, Chris? Hashtag Guys Creating Company. What is the most important position the Lions need to draft this season?
The defense position.
Yes, the whole defense.
Outside of Aiden Hutchinson, the defense position. I go back and forth. You know they need help in the secondary. Do you say, okay, feel great about offense. The gumball smuggler, Jared Goff's back there. J-Mo's going to be healthy. Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, we can use in any shape or fashion, form, whatever. Jamal Williams is nice. The offensive line is nice. Feel good about Aiden Hutchinson. Do you say, all right, let's go get another elite pass rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson to take some pressure off him so they can't just focus on stopping him the whole game? Or do we find another piece in the secondary? Maybe you feel better about running some more man. Maybe you go get a nickel, down safety, do the same thing. I feel like you go get an edge rusher past Aiden Hutchinson.
Yes.
Opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Because I know this, a great D-line can hide an average defensive backfield a whole hell of a lot easier than an elite secondary can hold up with an average defensive line. Just don't work.
Agreed.
Like that.
Get somebody opposite Aiden Hutchinson,
yeah.
and then go find the closest things you can to Derwin James and Fred Warner. Have your Mike, have your strong safety.
I don't know if you can get back. I still don't think they're letting people back to Valeria yet.
And then you get a cornerback. I know that for sure. And there's a lot of good cornerbacks coming out in this draft. You got the kid from Joey Porter Jr. from Penn State. You got the Gonzalez kid from Oregon. You got Kelly Ringo from Georgia.
I think Joey Porter.
The length of that kid is just ridiculous. I mean, legitimate 6'3".
And I trust the bloodline. All right,
let's go to Ben Lead and lead. $20 donation. Appreciate it, Ben.
You.
So after seeing what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts, did the season is pressure on the Ravens to do the same thing for Jackson if he stays #Trust Tree, #Flaming Drag?
I think they're two different players. Lamar Jackson is not built like Jalen Hurts is. We've seen, Lamar was hurt last year. Lamar is getting older. Lamar's been through injuries. I don't think you use Lamar as, I think the best word is aggressively as you did Jalen Hurts in the run game. Look, Jalen Hurts was not really a proven commodity coming into this year. I'm wondering if the Eagles, now seeing how he developed as a passer, how it can work, may take a little bit off of Jalen Hurts in the run game now that, again, offensive coordinator Steichen's gone, going to the Colts to be the head coach to try and help him with longevity, and how much on the opposite end does that affect your success on offense? I think, determining if Jason Kelsey comes back or Lane Johnson comes back, that's going to determine your success on offense. But no, they can't use Lamar like that, and they're not going to use Lamar like that. And I did see where they're looking at ruling out the quarterback push now on quarterback sneak. It may get taken out of the game.
Yeah, I was listening to Colin Cowherd talk about that the other day, saying that he thinks it will be removed.
I think it should.
I like it. I like the fact, look, a linebacker can come up and push a defensive lineman to stop a surge, and I think an offensive player should be able to do the same thing. The problem is, and I've agreed with you on this point, is the forward progress. You can't just allow the offensive players to push for 20 seconds to keep going. If you do that, then you have to allow the defensive players to also push and count negative yards.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem to me. It's not about offensive players pushing. It's about when they do it and get forward progress, you reward them for it. When a defensive player pushes the offense back, then you award the offense forward progress and move them back forward.
We've even seen it where they've done the quarterback sneak, the quarterback gets knocked backwards, and then they push him forwards. So like it's literally letting one team do one thing and not letting the other do the other when it comes down to forward progress. That's the biggest argument to me. It's smart. Listen, if you want that, there's a sport you're going to love. It's called rugby. All right? You'll love it. They do crazy stuff without pads on. You'll love it. Quarterback sneak, Tom Brady, still the greatest quarterback sneaker ever, because I do feel like this is against the rules.
And it's crazy that Brady was so good at it. I mean, Jalen Hurts will end up being better at it because he squats 700 pounds, but you would never think that Brady would be great at the quarterback sneak. But that's part of his mentality, is I want to be the best at everything, and that was part of it. You knew when it was 4th and 1, Brady was going to sneak and he was going to get it.
Yep.
It's just the thing about it is, the NFL, this is what we're worried about. Like, this is what we're worried about. I don't know what pass interference is. I don't know what a catch is, but we're worried about a QB sneak. Hey, let's get a priorities straight. Let's go to Bubbly Gut. Let's go to Bubbly Gut. What's up? You got something?
Well, I was going to say they changed the extra point. They moved it back because it's in the 99th percentile. I mean, what do you think that play was with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts? What do you think they converted at what?
They were 30 of 34, something like that, before the Super Bowl started, and I think they got 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost in the 90 percentile.
But they were the best at it, too.
They were, but it shows you. I wonder what it was league-wide, because other people started adopting it, and more people will adopt it next year. I'm not a fan of it. Now, I'm a defensive guy, so I'm biased.
Well, look, I mean, but you also call it like you see it. The forward progress is a serious issue. If you're going to allow the offense to push and get those yards, maybe it's a situation where you can have one guy do it. We didn't have this problem when the one running back was kind of allowed to push. When you get a whole, like a battlefield full of guys in the backfield are able to push a guy who squats 700 pounds, maybe that.
Middle ground, only one guy can push. I like that.
Middle ground, look at that.
I like that. How about that? I'm proud of you.
Solving the world's problems today.
Right. All right, let's go to Bubbly Gut. He says the Ravens are going to trade Jackson and draft Stetson Bennett. And they will pay Stetson Bennett in alcohol.
In natties?
In natties.
They're gonna pay Stetson in Natty Light. What a great plan. I'm sure it will 100% work. No, if they did that, they would be dead. And did you know 50% of Americans don't have a will? Choose today to be in the smarter half. Go to epicwill.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER. It's BOOSTER to save 10% on Epic Will's complete will package. Guys, we talk about this all the time. I'm looking at you, David. We all know talking about death is never a fun topic. All right? I don't enjoy talking about it. I know you don't. And typically something people try to avoid it. But the reality is we will die someday. You guys will.
Yeah.
And I cannot stress enough how important it is to make your guys' will today. So lucky for you, I have a goal you can accomplish pretty quickly. Complete your will with Epic Will. For just $119 and as little as 5 minutes, Epic Will can help you create your last will and testament, living will, and even healthcare power of attorney. And their step-by-step online form makes it incredibly easy. Just fill in the blanks. So go to epicwill.com. Use promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, to save 10% on Epic Will's complete will package. That's epicwill.com, promo code BOOSTER. Our Flaming Dragon's going to find where you're at.
A wise man told me once, what you do in life echoes through eternity. He told me that while I was sort of sitting in the theater with all the other people too. And I took that to heart.
Is that Aristotle?
I think it was Maximus.
Aurelius.
Aurelius in Gladiator, I believe. So I think what you should do is you should get a will made up, and that's going to echo through eternity. You do that for your family, which mine is about to get a new name on it.
Yes, that's
Baby
true.
Ava.
Yeah, baby Ava. Welcome to it. Congrats. You're
3 weeks old today.
Really?
Hey.
3 weeks old today.
So is that? No, it's not a birthday.
No.
It's
No.
a weekday.
Well, we can still celebrate.
We can still celebrate like it's birthday. Hey, are we doing something Saturday?
We are.
Yes. Reed was excited about that last time.
Can we quit talking about?
Yeah, you gonna be there, loser?
We have a king cake and everything.
Yeah. What are you going to Mardi Gras?
I am.
I already
that
found the baby in the
sucks.
king cake, but
We'll see. The thing about it, you tell me on a Thursday, Dave.
The wife told me. I don't.
You can't tell me on a
Team player.
Monday or a Tuesday.
Team player.
Team player. Sorry, I
you
made
skip
plans.
Mardi
Yeah,
Gras?
team player.
I gave people my word.
This guy.
Yeah.
You want me to go against my word?
Yeah.
that what you want?
Yes.
Kind of.
How would I be
What are we
respected
hey,
in
what
my
are we
friend
cooking over
group?
there? What are we cooking?
I don't know yet. Haven't
don't know yet?
decided. Let's talk about it after.
We're gonna use Cinch. Get some propane tank over there.
We use Cinch, man.
That's exactly.
We'll use Cinch now.
Oh man, we got some Daytona.
You want some of
500?
these Daytona 500 odds?
Let's do it.
Wait, hold on. Who's riding with Chase Elliott with me? Are you riding with Chase Elliott with me?
That's me.
Let's go.
Dude, hold on. Say,
we
y'all
have-
talk amongst yourself.
Okay, we're going to talk amongst
yourself.
ourselves. Go get Chase. Go get Chase, please.
What a great name
who
for
you
a
taking in the
racer.
Daytona?
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon.
What?
Come on, man. It's not 1999.
Oh, I can't take Jeff.
Huh?
Kyle Busch.
Our guest, Chase Elliott.
There's Chase.
Chase.
What's up, Chase?
Here, you set that thing up. He's gonna
No,
be here with us.
put him in front of replacement cone.
First off, Cone, figure out the science behind it. I'm going Chase Elliott, all right? Austin Cindric closed his eyes and got lucky last year. Congrats. I know he won Rookie of the Year. And I've heard people saying, oh, Kyle Busch and Hamlin and all these guys. No. Give me Chase Elliott, all right? Repping it. Up tall.
I'll put him back.
Connect to the top. There you go, Cone. So Chase was here for that. Really excited. Chase Elliott, everybody. Got a big Daytona 500 appearance this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going. Shout out Bruce Scala and our friends over at
Yep.
Hooters Daytona Wings. Y'all know what's up. Daytona 500 with Daytona Wings. Isn't that like doing like the Caesars thing, like that commercial? Like
Yeah.
Caesar salad?
Yeah, totally. 100%. 100%. I might take Dale Earnhardt Jr. to win.
You're taking Dale Earnhardt?
You taking Dage?
Yeah. Taking Dodge.
Dodge?
Dodge.
Nice.
I'm taking Chase Elliott.
Good.
All right, here are the odds, boys.
Hit me with it.
First of all, Kyle Larson to win's going off at plus 1,000. That's
Don't
not,
believe.
hey, that might be a nice little bet,
Don't
too.
believe.
Plus 1,000, plus 400 to finish in the top 3, or plus 190 to finish in the top 5.
like his
all right? Joey Logano, plus 1,200 to win, plus 350 for a top 3 finish, and plus 250 for the top 5. Our boy Chase Elliott, plus 1,200 to win, plus 350 for a top 3 finish, and plus 200 for a top 5 finish.
Like I said, look, give me Chase. I've always, when I was growing up, I always wondered, like, when NASCAR would come on and until they had the camera, like, in the car where you could hear them, like, talking and see them, like, were they just screaming the whole time because they're going so fast? Like, just for like 500 laps, like, ah, ah, like at every turn. I literally thought they did it. Then I saw it, they're just in there like, it's driving. It's like
It's
me
driving.
going to Sonic.
Yeah.
Also, Ryan Blaney's going off at plus 1,200.
Who is
that
it?
does not count as me saying your name,
Nope.
because
Who is
that's
it?
his name.
Blaney.
What's the worst? What's the biggest underdog?
The biggest one?
Huh?
I think a
biggest
guy-
Tony
one I see-
Stewart.
I think John Rice is on a
Connor Daly is plus 50,000.
Give me Connor.
Connor Daly? What does he have? No feet?
Give me Connor.
You not press the gas pedal? How
No,
do you
give me
plus
Connor.
50,000?
Plus 50 G's?
So is BJ Mc.
No.
So if I put
no,
$10
no, I don't bet people with that.
So if
name.
I put $10 on that, I win $5,000.
Yeah.
Why not? Why is he plus 50,000? Does he not know? Is he blind?
I don't know, but in a race like this, when there's usually a big pile
I'll
up,
put
and half the
$10.
field finishes.
Why would I not just take $100 and put it on the?
Here's some.
Put $10 each on like the.
Oh, here's a nice little head-to-head driver prop here. Kyle Larson against Chase Elliott. Kyle Larson's minus 120. Chase Elliott's plus 100.
Come on, Chase.
A little plus money there.
Look, I
Come on,
believe in
Chase.
Chase.
Oh, how about this head-to-head? Joey Logano against Kyle Busch, both minus 110.
Give me Kyle. Give me Bush.
Yeah, I'm going
Kyle
Bush.
Give me Bush.
Tough to go against the Bush family.
It is.
Denny Hamlin's in here as well. I'm not going to pretend to know every single driver that's going.
Look at this guy. What is he looking at? This looks like somebody's coming down from the heavens.
Well, let me see Denny Hamlin's.
There go them boys again.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin's plus 1,300. He's right there in the mix to win it.
That wouldn't be a bad bet. That wouldn't
five.
be a bad bet. Denny Hamlin plus 1,300, but it wouldn't be as good as the Chase Elliott bet at plus 1,200. Flaming Dragon Booster Club before
What do you
Ted Henne
want?
gets in here.
All right, let's go to old Jimbo Eagle again. What's up, Jimbo? Hashtag question for Crane Company. Did you guys see the NBA All-Star Weekend worth turning into this year or not? Do you think the dunk contest will be good this year?
No.
LeBron ruined the dunk contest.
The good players aren't in the dunk contest.
LeBron James
Good players aren't in the dunk
destroyed the dunk
watch.
contest
I don't
by
wanna-
refusing.
I don't
Just
wanna
lives
watch-
rent-free in your head.
I don't want to watch the three-point contest. I don't want to watch them
Rent-free,
just
ruin
not
the dunk contest.
play defense during the All-Star game. No, it's ruined. NBA All-Star game weekend's ruined.
All right, let's go to Mo Bamba. It's wild. Hashtag Ask Crane Company. Does your DraftKings sports code, $200 for a $5 bet, still apply, or was that only up until the Super Bowl?
Should still apply, I believe.
Should still apply.
If you're a new customer, download DraftKings.
Do it.
There it is. Free ad read right there. Smart, Mo Bamba. Smart.
Let's go to Sweet Baby Paladine. What's up, brother? Just want to say, thank you for reminding me it's Flaming Dragon Friday. You are welcome. My kid's school is closed. Congrats. When I heard Jake use his Govey name, I remember I had to drop her off with the sitter. Love it. Well,
I did that for you. I don't
hear
think you
saving
realize
lives,
this,
man.
but that's the whole reason I did that. So you're welcome.
Ryan Buffalo says, I'm going with Travis Pastrana because if you ain't first, you're last.
I like that.
Ryan Buffalo.
I love Pastrami.
it.
All right. Let's go to Laura Brown. She says, Jason and Kelsey said that Jalen Hurts stepped on his foot that last throw, why it didn't go so far on the Hail Mary.
Yeah, you weren't scoring on that anyway.
No, you never know.
I do. You weren't scoring.
Let's go to Travis Elrod. What are your thoughts on the NFL getting rid? No, I already talked about that. Let's go to Ben Lee. Let's go to Texas Ed. Who's going to replace Chad to back up Mahomes?
That's what I was saying. It needs to be Aaron Rodgers. He can go get his second ring. Aaron Rodgers, go back up Patrick Mahomes and get that second
Why don't you
ring.
and Chad just trade places, David?
Huh?
That's a good question.
Man, I hate to admit it, but Chad was a lot better than me.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's
that's not what I heard.
yeah, me neither.
We'll ask him. We'll talk about you and Chad here in a
All right,
second.
let's go to Bubbly Gut. How big of a contract can Hurts get with that weak arm he put on display for the world to see in his last Super Bowl?
He's about to get the bag. He's about to get the absolute bag. I mean, dude threw for over 300 yards. Threw for over 3 bills. Ran for what? Two touchdowns.
Who's that?
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, he ran for 3.
Ran for 3
Hat trick.
touchdowns. Look, Jalen Hurts about to get the bag. But like I said the other day, I think Jalen Hurts is smart enough to realize, hey, I need to keep this great unit around me for me to continue to have the success that I've had and this meteoric rock star rise that he's had in the NFL. I think he gets that. I think Jalen's perspective is really good.
Yep.
I think that's one of his biggest strengths, actually.
Got a few things here before we get to Chad's interview. All right, Tiger finished with a trio of birdies at the Genesis Invitational yesterday. He's -2. Max Homa and Keith Mitchell are tied at -7 at the top.
Yeah, good to see Tiger. Watched him tee off. He's competitive. He looks like he's walking around pretty good. Like that's what I'm looking at, walking past the cars and on the course. Looks like he's healthy. Yeah, here's Tiger Woods is great for golf. He's great for golf. But I think Tiger Woods is still competitive. I think he can still be competitive. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the weekend. You had a lot of adrenaline, pumping yesterday. Back at it, back on the grind. We'll see if he can take it through the weekend, but I'm rooting for him.
Purdue, big loss to Maryland. That's back-to-back losses for Purdue. Remember, they were the #1 team in the country.
If I was Matt Painter, every time that we went down on offense and there was a possession where Zach Edey didn't touch the ball, I'm calling timeout. And I'm taking everybody but Zach Edey out of the game. The amount of times yesterday that Purdue came down and Zach Edey did not touch the ball on the putt. I'm not saying Zach Edey should take every shot, but the amount of double teams that he draws in, Maryland didn't have a big guy really. That guy was kind of long. Look, Chris Bosh is kind of. Reese, Dante Scott's a bigger guy at guard. But when you look at Purdue offensively yesterday, there were times where Zach Edey wasn't even touching the ball. And in one case, he got 2 fouls, got a foul late in the first half. When they don't run the offense through Zach Edey, I don't think the surrounding talent shoots the three well enough for them to be able to operate to win big games. Now, I will say, nobody in the Big Ten has beaten Maryland on the road. All right, not one
This
team
win
in the
is
Big
not
Ten.
surprising for
No,
Maryland. What's surprising is they haven't been better, to be honest.
What I want to see from Purdue, and I think this is why Matt Painter's a really good coach, they'll learn from this. Zach Edey has to touch the ball every possession. outside of, transition baskets, we got to steal and we're going to do a layup. Whenever you're running set offense, or the player with the ball is behind everybody that doesn't have the ball on your team, and you're dribbling down, Zach Edey, that monster, that thing from where the wild things are, should touch the ball. He is an anomaly in the game of college basketball. It's unacceptable if he doesn't touch the ball.
All right, last one here before we get Chad in, because we want to talk about Eric Bieniemy a little bit. There's just a lot of conversation about, is Eric Bieniemy going to get an NFL job? We had a clip here from Stephen A. Smith. Do you want to break this down?
Yeah, let's go and run the clip real quick before we bring Chad on. And I can kind of get where Stephen A. is coming from, but I disagree with his premise here. Let's go ahead and roll it.
But when we think about what's holding Eric Bieniemy back most, it's Andy Reid. Andy Reid has cost Eric Bieniemy a head coaching job in the National Football League. We don't want to say it, but it's true. And here's the reason why. Because even though you're the head coach, you don't have to call plays. He chose to. Not all the time. Most of the time it might be Eric Bieniemy. But Andy Reid not only called some plays, he made sure we knew he called plays. The NFL community knew he could call plays. There's plenty of head coaches in the National Football League, Coach Herm Edwards. Mad Dog Russo, you've been covering sports for decades. There's plenty of head coaches in the league that have offensive coordinators that are calling plays.
So what he's basically saying is that Andy Reid is taking all the shine off of Eric Bieniemy. And the great part about this is we have Chad Henne, who we're about to bring on, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. But when I look at this, I think this is unfair to Eric Bieniemy to say this, or just coaching in general. Like, you know how you become a great coach? You take a little bit from all the great coaches that you've been around, and you be yourself. Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid tag team the offense. We know this. Andy Reid's the head coach. If he wants to call the plays, he can call the plays. That's why he's the head coach. It's the same way Shanahan can call the plays for the 49ers, and other head coaches have called plays like we see all across the NFL. So the premise of Eric Bieniemy is not getting a job because Andy Reid is taking his shine is ridiculous. Eric Bieniemy has not gotten a head coach a job because of something that Eric Bieniemy is doing. Now, I don't know if that's during the interview process. I don't know if that's something off the field. I don't know if him and Andy Reid sat down with a glass of milk and cookies and Andy Reid said, listen, I'm not going to be doing this for that much longer. Why don't you be the heir apparent here in Kansas City, and I will hand you Patrick Mahomes and a system that works. It may be Andy Reid that gets Eric Bieniemy the furthest he can possibly go by leaving this for him. Now, we see that Eric Bieniemy is interviewing with the Commanders to be the offensive coordinator. And would it be a bad idea for Eric Bieniemy to go somewhere else and totally run the offense by himself? No. But to solely blame Andy Reid for Eric Bieniemy not being a head coach is asinine.
It's ridiculous.
It doesn't make sense.
Eric Bieniemy will be a head coach in the NFL.
Yes.
And I think he will have success. But let's also look at the flip side of that coin. Since Eric Bieniemy's been the offensive coordinator with the Kansas City Chiefs, he's done so with Andy Reid, one of the top 2 or 3 play callers we've ever seen as the head coach, and Patrick Mahomes, who's going to be one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks we've ever seen playing the quarterback position. And that's led to a lot of that success. Let's don't pretend like it hasn't.
Well, I'm kind of liking it back to Kirby Smart and Nick Saban. You remember how long Kirby was at Alabama?
He could have taken other jobs.
People kept saying, oh, well, it's Nick's defense. Kirby's not, Kirby's just getting fortunate breaks because they have great players because of what Nick Saban built. Oh, who would really want to hire Kirby Smart? It's Nick Saban's defense. Everybody knows it. Kirby didn't take jobs. You know what he did? He waited for the right job.
Yes.
He waited for the right job. What if Eric Bieniemy is waiting for the right job? What if Eric Bieniemy doesn't want to go be the head coach of the Cardinals and Kyler Murray?
Just like the coordinator from the Eagles, who his team just beat. And if that ends up being a flash-in-the-pan situation and that coach gets fired
My father gave me some great advice one time. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. And I think that's where Stephen A. Smith has kind of missed the boat here. It's not just about going to get that first job to say you got a job. It's getting the right one. And maybe the right one is right where you're at.
Yeah, why the hell would you want to go anywhere else? Why would you want to go anywhere? You're about to have
to be the OC.
For sure to be the OC, and I guarantee no one's asked Eric this question. Maybe Eric's, well, I want to stay here because when Andy Reid goes, I get to walk into the perfect situation. Travis is still going to be there. I mean, as long as Patrick's there, Travis is going to be there. You're winning with average receivers. You're winning with an average defense, right? You're only going to go up from here, and Andy's not going to do it forever. So it's just Stephen A. being Stephen A. Are we surprised by this?
But again, sometimes I see.
And it's not a race thing.
Sometimes I see things from Stephen A. There were 2 takes I saw from Stephen A. Smith last week that someone sent me, and I was like, that's spot on. I love that. And the only time I've met Stephen A. Smith in person, I watched him take a photo with every single person in line, taking selfies for 45 minutes. And I sat there and watched him. So I have a lot of respect for the guy in some ways. And then some other ways, I think, like, this is just like taking the low-hanging fruit of a situation. You know, like, oh, Eric Bieniemy should, just go and want to get out from under Andy Reid. Maybe that's what he ends up wanting to do. He could be the Commander's OC by the time this show finishes today.
Yeah, just don't. I don't like the way he turns Eric Bieniemy into a victim, like he's some sort of victim of some rigged system that's keeping him from being a head coach.
I'll give you another example. Byron Leftwich was one of the coordinators we talked about most ready to get one of those high-profile NFL jobs, right? Because he was, Bruce Arians was the coach in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady was having success. They won the Super Bowl. Well, they digressed this past year. Byron Leftwich is out. You don't want to have a situation like that with Eric Bieniemy. If he goes and becomes an offensive coordinator elsewhere, maybe struggles, and then all of a sudden he's ruined his chance to become an NFL head coach, which I think he's going to be.
Yeah, it's a lot deeper, I think, than what Stephen A. is getting at there. But like I said, I don't want to agree with everybody on everything. That'd make it so boring. But we are taking your calls right now. 1-855-236-3228. We've had a lot of parents reach out to us. If you want to talk about that, we can as well with that crazy Leah Thomas stuff that's going on. But call us 1-855-236-3228. Chad Henne, let's roll the footage. All right, as promised, we are very excited to bring on a guy. They just had a parade out where he's at right now to celebrate another Super Bowl victory. Former Michigan, now former NFL quarterback, hell of a career, played for a very, very long time and made it to the mountaintop multiple times. Chad Henne. Chad, what's up, man?
How we doing? Thanks for having me.
Man, we're doing great. We talk about you all the time on here in a good way, not in a bad way. So it's excited to finally get you on, man. It was, a pleasure watching you play, and congrats on a great career, like I said. But I just, I want to start with it. It's such a long journey from the beginning to the end. I mean, this isn't a sport typically people just pick up their junior year of high school and play it for as long as you did. What is it like to know where you started, where you went in college at a very high level, played at a very high level, and now to have reached the mountaintop multiple times? And now that you're done, just looking back, 30,000-foot view, I mean, what can you say? How do you put that into words?
Yeah, I started football when I was 5 years old, so that's 32 years of football, and obviously had the opportunity to go to a lot of great places, including Michigan, being drafted to the NFL, and obviously having the 15-year career. But I think anything that you go into, it's all about relationships, and I met so many great people along the way. Have learned so much, have faced through a lot of adversity, a lot of ups and downs. And to say I did it for that long and very happy of how it all went and how the things that I accomplished have gone, have been extremely, very proud of myself and my family as well.
Definitely. And again, that no stone left unturned. And Chad, I'm sure a lot of people talk about, being able to play for the Chiefs in such a fantastic organization, but it all starts with the head man there and Andy Reid and what he was, what he's been able to do offensively. What is it just like to prepare and listen to him and Coach Bieniemy and the offensive minds that they have together and around them, just to never know if you're going to be dancing around in a circle in a huddle or if you're just going to line up in 11 personnel and go out there and run stick slice?
Well, I think, Andy Reid was the reason I came here. I had a couple of visits after I left Jacksonville, but just sitting down with him, his communication throughout not only the quarterbacks, but everybody on the team, he's willing to take information from everybody. And I think that's what just makes him so great, is that he's always willing to learn, not only from us, but on tape. And it just makes our jobs a lot easier.
Yeah. How many mustaches did he draw on you when you'd fall asleep?
We actually were thinking about doing it when we got off the plane arriving in Arizona.
Oh, that's funny.
Our first Super Bowl in Miami, we wore the Tommy Bahama shirts and kind of gave him his due diligence there. But that would have been an all-timer there for sure.
That's hilarious.
Chad, man, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming on. First off, how's the golf game, buddy?
Very average. I mean, the only... being in cold places, Kansas City, and then our home bases in Pennsylvania, there's only about a month and a half a year that I'm able to play golf. So, yeah, I would just say very average.
Well, I feel like with the retirement, it's about to get a lot better, man. It's about to get a lot better.
So.
But
hope so.
Again, congratulations on a second Super Bowl ring. Congratulations on an epic, epic career. You know, there was a time I thought, you know, I was a good quarterback, and I got to play with you. You were the best I ever saw do it. And now, you know, these last few seasons, you've accepted and embraced your role as being a backup to Patrick Mahomes. What is that relationship like, and in what ways were you able to mentor him when he came in the league? And then in what ways have you learned some things from him?
Well, I think our relationship started off great. I mean, he contacted me right when I, accepted to come to Kansas City, and we hit it off right from the beginning. I think the main thing about being a backup in this league is putting your ego aside. I think we all want to be starters in this league, but realizing your role and understanding why you're there is a big part of it. But our relationship has grown. What I've learned from him, obviously, the drop back quarterback it's phasing its way out of the NFL. So the spatial awareness and the spread, just the ability to throw the ball, you know, almost 75% of the time to win football games in this league is something that I had to, you know, grow into and learn. And I learned a lot from him in that way. But his details, his communication, the way he prepares is an ultimate thing just for a young guy. I mean, he's only on year 6 or 7, and it's amazing what I see on a daily basis throughout his career.
Well, you know, I know people have come to these last few seasons come to know you as Patrick Mahomes' backup and winning these Super Bowls. But, you know, I always remind people, I mean, Chad Henne was a starting quarterback for multiple franchises in this league. You know, Miami Dolphins, Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, you played a lot of football, and that has helped you in these big moments. We talk about it on the show all the time. A team is only as good as your backup quarterback. You're not somebody who just sat on the sidelines and held a clipboard. In some of the biggest moments, in key games, divisional rounds, conference championships, you were called upon not just to come in and hand the ball off, come in to make plays. 98-yard touchdown drive we saw just a few weeks ago. I mean, you were integral, and you guys won that game by 7 points. Talk about how it was to come in big moments for the Chiefs and be able to play such a huge role in winning a championship.
Well, I think I just do it back to my preparation. I think, like I said, you know, everybody wants to be a starter. And I always took it as I prepare like I'm a starter each and every week. I never took that backup role, in my mindset. And each and every week, whether I get the reps or not, I mean, obviously don't get a lot of reps, but I stand behind Patrick. I go through the drops each and every time he goes through it. And then after practice, I get the throws that he gets in practice. So I always stay prepared in that aspect of it. And I always took the scout team not for granted. I always try to go out there and be the best quarterback throughout the week and give our defense headaches. And hopefully on Sunday that I was preparing them better than their starting quarterback on the other side of the football.
Prepare like you're the starter. I remember hearing Coach Leffler say that about every day to us.
Well, you remember they say if you stay ready, you never have to get ready.
Prepare like you're the starter.
Of college
every day.
Chad, you know, I really don't think I could pass up on this opportunity. Do you have any funny David Cohn, a little bit of embarrassing stories?
Yeah, what did Cohn do?
You know?
Be very, very
Feel
careful.
free to say anything.
Be very careful.
Spit a freestyle.
Feel free to say anything, please. Let's all laugh at David.
No, I mean, I thought we always had a great relationship. I mean, David, Nick Sheridan, when they were coming in, I felt like we always had a great relationship where I'd bring them over. We'd have barbecues. We'd go golfing. And I thought it was very important to always have a tight-knit group. And those guys were great. They helped me prepare each and every Saturday when I was in college. And like I said, like I'm in that role right now, and they were in that role when we were in college. So I could always come to the sideline. They would always have information for me and help me out.
Well, I see where your golf skills and barbecue skills come from.
I'll tell you, Chad got the best invitations for golfing in the state of Michigan.
Oh, I bet.
The best invitations. And obviously he wouldn't go play golf by himself. So who's he going to take?
Yeah.
He took the quarterback room. He always looked out for us, man.
Man, that's awesome. Hey, speaking of college, let's
talk
about Michigan this year. You bring back your starting quarterback. Jim Harbaugh is coming back after trying to get poached to the NFL for the 17th time in 3 years. What's your expectations for Michigan this year? Because right now, I mean, they're looking like a top 2 team in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got a lot of talent and let it do. You know, Jim's done a great job. When he was on that hot seat, I think he didn't, take it for granted. He really dove down, got some great players in there, and they improved on offense. I mean, we always knew they had a great defense, but offensively, they definitely sparked a lot of people. And our expectations always there are try to win a national championship. In the last 2 years, they made it to, the playoffs, and we just got to get over that hump and try to get in the main game and win that national championship.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Chad, I want to ask you about this because this has kind of popped up the last couple of days in the media, and nobody really would understand this better than you because you know what goes on in the headset. You know how it's operated. You know, there's been a couple people saying that Andy Reid is holding Eric Bieniemy back. I just want to give you a chance to comment on that as a guy who has been there and understands that. I feel like that's kind of out of bounds. That there's a lot of ways that doesn't make any sense. It seems like they have an unbelievable working relationship, and that Eric Bieniemy is going to be much better off for having worked under Andy Reid than the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Bieniemy is an ultimate leader of men. Not only is he a smart, bright guy on offense, but he's a leader of men. And I think everybody can gravitate towards him. When things aren't going right, he can step in there and really get us back on page and just point out what we're not doing good and what we're doing good. So he's a leader of men, but at the same time, he's learned so much from one of the greatest coaches of all time and offensive mind. So he has all that information that it's crazy that people aren't, willing to, hire him as a head coach or offensive coordinator. I think in the next couple of days, we'll see him. I'm not sure, whether he'll leave or not, but he's definitely going to have some opportunities to go elsewhere or be somewhere else.
Yeah, and it's not bad to step away from the person that's under your wing. Sometimes it's the best thing can happen for you, but you can't take that for granted. They say dance with the one that brought you. I just wanted to get your comments on that, Chad, because nobody would know outside of a couple people better than you, and you guys are all in the same room. But congratulations, man. Unbelievable career. What a way to end it. I mean, talk about going out on top. Sure. No regrets. We appreciate you taking some time and hopping on here with us, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it. Obviously, David, we got to meet up.
Yeah, David,
you're in Nashville. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's get on the golf course, buddy.
Yep, for sure.
All right, Chad. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys.
All right, Chad Henne taking a little time coming off Super Bowl #2. Come, kick it, refresh some memories there with you in the good old days there in Ann Arbor.
Man, I learned a lot from Chad. Learned a lot about the game of football, and that was just a great time at the University of Michigan. Like I said, he was the best that I ever saw do it. As an 18 to 20.
And he's also huge too.
Yeah,
big guy. You're a big guy. And y'all had a huge quarterback room.
Yeah, we did.
Good Lord.
And like I said, man, he would take us. We'd play golf. He would invite us over for barbecues. Like it was big. Always. You're always ribbing the younger guys.
Yeah.
There was that aspect of it as well. But still,
good team chem.
Good team chemistry, and especially in the quarterback room because it's just like it's such a tight.
That's where you need it.
It is, and it's such a competitive position. We are taking your calls right now. 1-855-236-3228. But it's Friday. That means Flaming Dragon will open his mouth and burn you. This segment, it's me.
David, do you want the iPad?
Yes, please.
Get up over there.
What's mid today, buddy?
You've hit that age where when you get up or sit down, you have to make a noise.
Yeah, get over there, Dr. Rick.
All right.
What we got today? That fake-ass golden tumbler.
Shut up.
You shut up.
You shut up and sit over there and shut up and
you
dribble.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
You shut up and dribble.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
All right. God, my favorite thing to do throughout the week. First thing we got on the docket today is cable TV. I was running.
Gotta let the graphic.
Oh, I thought you said my name.
No, I
thought you said my name.
No.
All right. Anyways, cable TV. I was going through it yesterday, and I do have cable TV at my house. And when I say that there's nothing to watch, going through MILF Manor, I was watching Queen Latifah basically turn into Neo from The Matrix and dodge bullets, and watching Don Lemon be a sexist on TV. I realized that it's just time to get rid of it. It was multi-million-dollar, 50 million people watching TV has gone down the last 10 years. It's because the shows are terrible. And there's only one way to fix this. Let me have a reality show. Let me
Finding
have
Love
a
and
reality
Fairhope?
show.
We call that.
All three of us have a reality show. It'd be the best thing out. Maybe Real World-ish. Y'all remember those days? Mm-hmm. The Real World days. We'll lock everybody in a room for a week, have them get pissed at each other, then have them start kicking them off an island. All right, next up, Dunkin' Donuts. I know. Look, let's be honest. Even after seeing the Super Bowl commercial is about as good as Dunkin' Donuts will ever be. It's mid. I think Dunkin' Donuts are just for people who are insecure about themselves. Just go to Starbucks. It's a better coffee. But the best coffee, right? We know what the best coffee is, guys.
Black Rifle. Good plug.
Coffee.
You're starting to figure it out.
Nice.
You're starting to figure it out.
Dunkin' Donuts, it's mid. Let's be honest.
That's not right.
This one's easy. Annie Andrews. If you don't know about Annie Andrews, this is a dude who's in power lifting for women. Came out and made a video about how bad women are at powerlifting. Maybe because you're a guy. You ever thought of that? Maybe because you have 30 times the testosterone in your body. Maybe because you couldn't cut it as a male, so you went and became a coward and competed against women.
Big orphan Annie.
Yeah, so if you're going to be honest about it, go compete against dudes. Don't come close to winning, and then we'll talk about it, right? Next thing on the docket here, this is beautiful. iPhones in general.
What?
And I was thinking about this. Let me explain. I went to Jake's house maybe a week ago. 2 weeks ago, we were watching something on a Sunday. And the first thing when I got in there, he told me about this crazy new awesome vacuum that he got. And he was so stoked about it. Yeah, you know your brother's engaged when the first thing he does when he comes to a house is brag about a new vacuum they got.
Hey, the floor was clean, wasn't it?
Okay, it was. The floor looked great.
That thing has sucked the hardwood off.
So
if I asked it.
So the next week, I put my Amazon account, and what's just flooding my Amazon account? Vacuums.
They're listening.
Quit listening to me, you weirdos. Zuckerberg, the FBI, y'all are too worried about there's planes crashing and all this crazy stuff. Twitter's taking over, and you're worried about whether or not I want vacuums? Come on, bro. Figure it out. All right. Next thing on the list, I had to get to this one because, I mean, let's be honest, cereal. Just cereal in general. Okay,
I'll fight you.
You
hate the world.
Look.
I will
If
physically
you're
fight
over
you.
15 years old and eat cereal, take a seat. It's your intervention. All right? Take a seat. It's time. If you're over 18 years old and eat cereal, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. All right? Grow up, Peter Pan. Count Chocula. But cereal's for children. It's for children, not you. You're a 30-year-old man, you weirdo. Quit eating cereal. Eat a real breakfast. And one thing that's not mid is Mark Aston needs to be the Braves
yes.
play calling guy, whatever the hell you call it.
Great
Give
way
it to
to
Marky
end
Mark. It's my
Great way to
estimate.
end it.
It's my estimate.
Good job, Flaming Dragon.
Thank you.
Take a seat, bud.
Well done. Sit down.
Thanks, bud.
Take a seat, bud.
Talking about
Oh, God.
talking about interventions. So we're about to have
No,
one.
do this. If
We're
you're on
about-
audio, we have video of Blaine.
Good. Run the tape.
Good. Yeah,
Run it.
Blaine
Before-
and producer Justine in the beer pong game. We're taking calls too. We need to get to calls too.
Yep. Before our first call, let's. We're gonna have an intervention. Let's run the challenge flag here.
Throw it. Oh, just get it there. Just get it there. Everybody in the chat's rooting for you. I can feel it.
I know, and I feel like I'm letting them down.
You are.
I'm
in real
sorry.
time.
Tubi.
You are in real time.
Rabbit
Lay
holes.
down.
Can I resort to that?
To what?
Guerrilla tactics?
What is that?
Oh, that hit the front of the cup. It hit the top of the cup.
Hit the front of the cut.
No.
There's the rule.
Run it
There's the
frame
rule.
by
Remember
frame.
the rule
No.
book.
Run it frame by frame.
No.
Yep.
Run it. No,
No.
you said you had it frame by frame. Run
No,
it.
we all saw
Run it
it.
frame by frame.
We
Run
all
it frame
saw
by
it.
frame.
Rule 4.12 dash.
It hit the top of the cup.
The ball never crossed the top
It
plate of
hit
the
the
cup
top
before
of
it
the
was
cup.
knocked over. It's a by
Malarkey.
law. I'm sorry,
Malarkey.
sir. It hit
You
the top of the cup.
lose.
Boom. There it is. There it is.
It hit the top of the cup.
Not crossing the top.
No way. No way. Run it back.
No way.
Run it back.
Not hit the top
Slow
of
it
the
down. Slow it down and run it back.
I will
I
scream
saw
at
it
the
in
top
there.
of
Now
my
you're
lungs.
cheating. I'm getting CNN. Run
No,
it.
no,
Slow
you're
it
not.
down and watch it hit the top of the cup. I know what you did.
No. No,
I
they
know
didn't
what you
CNN
did.
you this time.
That's not the view I saw in there that you showed me.
They
That's
didn't.
what I'm
If you're
talking
on
about.
audio, you got to come over to YouTube and
Take
watch
your
this.
L's, kid.
No.
Take your L's.
You claimed that victory.
You claimed that victory. We're talking about a hold to win the Super Bowl. Let's
Take
get to
your L's.
calls.
See, it hit the top of the
Let's
cup.
get to calls.
That's why it went down, because it hit the rim of the cup.
It has
Wow.
to cross the top
Take
of the
your
cup,
L's.
Blaine.
No.
Take your L's.
Flaming Dragon would have never. He'll never claim he
Golly.
lost that.
Take
let's,
your
let's,
L's,
let's get to
man.
calls. What are the
I'm not
viewers
surprised.
Take your
I'm not
L's.
surprised.
think?
man.
Viewers think.
All right, let's go to Joshua as our first caller. Joshua's calling in from South Florida. Josh, where in South Florida are you calling in from?
I need your street address, Josh.
No, close to the railroad. My question is, why don't the Republican states start making their own currency with how bad the Fed is doing?
Look, when it comes down to making your own currency, that's a slippery slope because there's so much that right now we do, even though the Fed is ridiculous what Jerome Powell and them have done. They seem like they've been wrong at every turn, and don't even get me started about the rest of the people that are running it. But when it comes down to making your own currency, I mean, that's kind of a slippery slope because if you do that and make your own currency, you might as well just secede, man. I mean, because you're forming your own money, your own banking system, really, your own way of being able to import and export things that may not have the same value as the dollar of what the USA would. But at the end of the day, I think the dollar is still going further than anything right now. It's just that's a like right after you hit the eject button thing to start.
They used to have one.
I
think it was called the Dixie.
The Dixie?
That's why it's called Dixie in the South. They used to have their own currency. But this is what cryptocurrency has tried to do.
Yeah.
Right? To be able to, like, especially a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, for instance, when there's only a certain maxed out amount of it. Once you have.
Well, look, if they wanted to make some, money and I don't know, throw my face on there, I'd be fine with it. We could do that. Josh, you be down with that?
Throw a couple Sky Miles our way.
A Jacob dollar bill?
Sure.
You like that?
I love it.
We'll do it. Josh, thank you, man. Stay warm
Thanks for calling in, Joshua. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to Cody calling in from Illinois. How's it going, Cody?
All right. Who's ready for Name That Recruit?
Friday, baby. Let's go.
All right. Today we have a 2018 NBA scouting report from NBAscouting.com.
Okay.
All right. So this is a skilled 6'7" point forward that plays like a seasoned veteran on the floor. He shoots and passes the ball very well on offense, and he can be trusted to run the offense when the basketball is in his hands. Very good rebounder. Good shooter from all over the floor. May struggle to guard quicker players. Currently, he is excelling in some of the toughest professional basketball leagues from all around the world and is a contender to be a top pick in the 2018 NBA draft.
Wow.
Let me ask you this.
Point forward.
Let me ask you this. Has he been in a trade lately?
Someone got traded to his team, and he is listed as a point guard in the NBA.
He is listed as a point guard.
I thought it was Mikal
in the
Bridges.
NBA 2018. Ooh, Mikal Bridges would have been a good guess. Listed as a point guard. Go ahead.
He is a foreign player, if that makes it any easier for you guys.
All right. Obviously, it's not Giannis.
No, he said he was 6'7" in
6'7".
Point forward.
6'7", 210 pounds.
Foreign player.
Hold on. I'm going to get this in a second. I'm just trying to go through the teams in my mind. Is there any more information you can give us?
I can name the country, too, but I can name the country, but it will give it away.
Is it Luka?
You got it.
It's Luka.
Okay. I didn't think it'd be that obvious.
There we go. That was
I made it more complicated than what it actually is.
That was a good one there, Cody.
Very good. Very good.
Cody, I enjoyed it.
Cody, we appreciate it every week, dog. You got to get us out every week.
I love it. All right, let's go to Tyler calling in from Florida. Got another one from Florida, guys. What's going on, Tyler?
What's going on? I want to talk to y'all about Anthony Richardson. So there's a smaller YouTuber called That Franchise Guy. I was watching his video the other day, and he did like a mock draft for himself, and he had Anthony Richardson. He thought it would fit to go to the Lions, which I thought that's kind of high, but his reasoning was they have good weapons, they have a good coach, they have a good offensive line, and they have a veteran quarterback that he could sit behind for a few years. And I was just curious on where you guys think he might go. What do you think his potential is? That good stuff.
Well, as far as I'll answer your first question first. As far as Anthony Richardson going to the Lions, if the Lions were in a better place from a roster standpoint, especially defensively, and they could afford to look down the road in 3 or 4 years, because Jared Goff still got a lot of run in him. It seems like he's only getting better. I mean, this is a guy that has played in the Super Bowl, has experience, really fits, I think, what Dan Campbell wants that offense to be. That they were somewhat balanced last year, and that offensive line staying intact is going to be huge. But when it comes down to Anthony Richardson as a prospect, I would much rather reach and take a chance on Anthony Richardson than I would on Will Levis 10 out of 10 times. I think Anthony Richardson
100%.
is very underdeveloped as a passer when it comes to being able to make all the throws. I'm not talking about arm strength. I mean, the dude could take down a Chinese spy balloon with a football in his hand, just get him, anywhere near it. But when it comes down to being able to throw the changeup, when it comes down to going through your progressions, when it comes down to making the right play and not just relying on pure athleticism to make big plays, that's where he has to take the next step. But I think in the NFL, where the focus is just football, where they can really, really take some time with him and continue to develop him as a passer, where he's not in a place that had a first-year head coach that's trying to scramble to put a team together and look competent so they don't think he's a letdown, I think Anthony Richardson could blossom. I think he could end up being the steal of this draft. I would take him over Will Levis, like I said, 10 out of 10 times, because when it comes to potential, When it comes to ceiling, Lil Wayne had a mixtape that I think parlays very well with Anthony Richardson. It's called No Ceilings. Okay.
Well, Detroit has the 6th and the 18th pick.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to waste those 2 picks on a quarterback.
Got to go defense. I think. Now, if Anthony Richardson were to fall into the second round, maybe you scoop him up and see, like, hey, what is the future going to be?
Even at that point, I don't think they're in that spot.
I agree with you. I think you're looking at more of trying to get maybe a quarterback in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round to learn under Jared Goff if you're going to take a quarterback at all.
The amount of quarterbacks that are going to come out in next year's draft, I wouldn't draft a quarterback if I'm the Lions. You have a lot of run left in Jared Goff, who's a young quarterback. You got to get defense. You got to get it defense now. It's the only thing holding you back. One of the best offensives in the league. You're playing good up front. You got Penei Sewell, who's going to be one of the best tackles the next come up 5 years. You have Jamo, who barely played last year. You have guys that are under the radar but are really good. From a cap standpoint, we'll see how much you can retain on offense. But you don't go reach for a guy like Anthony Richardson, who I don't think is a first-round talent.
Well, first-round talent or first-round pick? You don't think
first-round talent.
You don't think
I don't think he's good enough to go in the first round. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I went and saw it throughout the year. The guy's a phenomenal runner.
Is Will Levis a first-round talent?
No.
I agree with that.
No, I do not. I don't think Anthony Richardson's a good enough passer.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to Jack.
Whoa.
You said, okay, let me go ahead and remind y'all before we get the next call. Jake, you said it twice during that beer pong video.
Right before the clip was played. I'm so sorry. I ran it back and checked.
So we're at 4.
Yep.
Correct.
All right. Okay.
So we're winning by the hook right now.
Winning by the hook.
Okay. All right. Jack's calling in from, can I say Jack? Can I say the name?
Don't
Jack?
look at me.
I'm not talking.
Right, don't make this about me.
After this, I'm not talking
about me.
Calling in from Mobile, Alabama.
The mob.
Down there in little bluegill action.
Hey.
Jack, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
So, as big as an Auburn fan that I am, I'm a bigger baseball fan.
Oh, yeah.
And my question today is, what does Kevin O'Sullivan have to do this year to keep his job? 2 years ago, he gets smoked by the by the South Alabama Jaguars.
Yeah.
And last season misses the tournament entirely. What does he have to do?
Yeah, well, again, the expectation and the standard at Florida is very, very high. We know the success that Florida has had in college baseball. I remember watching them in college baseball and college softball, just absolutely running through it there for a couple of years. He's got to get to Omaha, I think. I mean, he's got to show elite relevance again, because let's not act like Florida doesn't have talent. It's not the personnel. You look at the way they recruit. Hell, I'll drive around the state of Florida and put together a top 15 college baseball team if you want me to, without even leaving the state. So when I look at Kevin O'Sullivan, to me, it's almost like he got to the mountaintop, or got close to the mountaintop, or got Florida to that point where they're in that elite category, and then he just hasn't been able to recapture it. Well, how do you recapture it? With players and your method and your structure. So something is wrong structurally with what Kevin O'Sullivan is doing at Florida, and there's no excuse for it. And I think Kevin O'Sullivan would tell you there's no excuse for it. Now, I'm not going to bring up the off-the-field stuff, which you and I both know went on at Florida. I'm not going to bring that up, because there's guys that have off-the-field problems that that do great on the field as coaches. That's not necessary. Those things don't necessarily go hand in hand. But when you're losing, they sure as hell don't help. And I think you'd agree with me on that, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you go from winning a national championship within 5 years ago to, again, losing to a mid-major Sun Belt team at your own regional, no less, to not even making the tournament.
Yeah, and Jack, like you said, and like we've been saying, it's not like Florida is not one of the premier baseball programs in the country. When you hear Florida, when you hear teams like Florida and LSU and used to be South Carolina, right? Remember South Carolina was just running through people left and right. You hear some of these TCUs and some of these places, you think elite baseball. Florida has got to get back to that point, or they're going to fire them, and they'll get somebody else in there that can do the job.
Blaine?
Well, you bring back Wyatt Langford, who led the SEC in home runs last year.
Yep.
Who's an absolute Ty Laporta from Florida, who's an absolute dog.
He stopped. No, he didn't say the whole thing.
Yes!
No, he didn't say
half of it.
Yes!
I knew you're smirking for some reason.
He said half of it and stopped.
You did, though.
Thank you.
I did not.
Thank you.
Are you high? I did not.
Man,
there it
it's
is.
A conspiracy.
No, y'all, no.
There it is, Jax. I'm glad you were a part of that, Jax.
No, we're running that. That's not one. Yeah, we're checking.
You bring back Hurston.
He said BLA and stopped. I watched him.
You get Hurston Waldrip from Southern Miss.
I watched.
He had what was it? You had a K to 140 batters, 98 miles per hour fastball, 6 split change.
They're going back.
I need players at Florida So I think Florida's going to be back this year.
I need a rule. I watched that come out of David's mouth and he stopped. If we can't say stuff that starts with BLA, then this whole thing is screwed. All right? If we can't say
Will
blah.
you quit crying? He said it.
Quit crying.
He
I
said it.
apologize, Jack. I apologize you had to hear that.
Yeah, says the guy who against a girl threw a ping pong ball at a cup and cheated to try and win and then got caught and still said he didn't cheat.
Fake news. Beat you.
You're
twice.
the last person. Oh, good. You're great at beer pong. Congrats. You and the rest of the people that peaked in high school.
All right.
Ooh, I peaked in high school. I'm sitting in front of you.
Not you.
The ass
not
heard about it. He
you,
said it.
Not you.
I'm
not
checking.
you.
Thank you, Jack.
Stop
And
being nice.
college baseball today. Everybody get excited.
I'm saying being great at
Love
beer
it.
pong isn't something to just die on a flag on. They didn't put that in a crest when people got buried in the ground.
All right, Seth calling in from Missouri. What's going on, Seth?
Seth, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is.
Now, I know disc golf is not nearly a mainstream sport, but I got two things. One, I want to invite you guys to go watch Best Players in the World are coming to the Music City Open in April. You guys need to get some media passes and go watch them. Just
the
for
Music City
a couple
Open.
Hours.
Where is it? Where is that played at?
In Antioch.
Okay. So
Yeah,
the world
just down the road from you.
The World Disc Golf Music City Challenge. I'd be down to go out there. We play?
Yeah, the best players in the world are coming. You need to watch the females too. The best player in the world is going to be there, and she can rock a disc like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, and you know what? Disc golf? Okay. I can see men and women playing against each other in disc golf. I'm fine with that. Is there a little bit of inherent? I know they probably have a female and a male division, I'm guessing, correct?
They do, and that's also what I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
See, last year we had our own Leah Thomas.
Really?
Named Natalie Ryan. Natalie's
disc
a
golf?
transgender male to female in disc golf. And Natalie, with subpar abilities, her mechanics are not top shelf by any means, but she won 2 elite events last year on the Pro Tour, one of the biggest tournaments of the year in our playoffs. But it wasn't a dominant year that she had, but she did take 2 wins and then 2 second places, and she couldn't have done that without, or he could not have done that without having a distinct physical advantage. Now, the PDGA over the off season this year sent out a survey to all paying PDGA members. I'm one of them, and just anybody that's part of the association. And they asked everybody about it. And the survey, you might find interesting. 80% of the people that competed against Natalie said transgenders should not compete in the female protected division. So what the PDGA did after that survey and their own scientific research, and they found out they do have an advantage. They said that professional male to female transgenders can't compete in the female protected division, but they didn't do that for any of the amateur divisions or any of the age protected divisions. So masters level or junior level or anything below the absolute elite level, they can still compete. And I know that it is made it difficult on a lot of female players who just want to play disc golf with their friends, feel like they can't compete.
Again, like if we're talking about 5 or 6 year olds out there throwing the disc golf, that's one thing, letting guys go. But once you get to any point where it's competitive or like it just, to me, I'm still having a hard time. Now, if we're talking about chess, right? We're talking about Jeopardy or like debate, or who can do a Sudoku faster? Let men and women. I'm down with that. All right, let's do it. Let's play the middle game. But anything with sports that's physical, from disc golf to powerlifting to football to hockey, stop. Yeah. Just stop.
It's funny.
Let guys play against guys and girls play against girls.
It's funny you bring up chess. That's what I was talking about last night with a buddy of mine. It's you can have one chess champion from either female or male, doesn't really matter. But even in that scenario, I'm fine if there wants to be some, WCC, Women's Chess Championship or something that doesn't want men to be playing chess against them. Even then, I'm fine. Why would you then allow a man to come in and be the champion? Even though I agree with you, there's no physical advantage there. So
yeah, again, if we're going to play a mental battle, if we're playing Rocket League against each other, let's ride it out. Men and female hop in there. But again, anything where it's physical and you have to physically exert things, and there's an inherent advantage. There is an inherent advantage. But that's a great call. Thanks for letting us know. We may sneak out to Antioch.
Thanks so much, Seth. We'll be out there. All right, let's go to Matt calling in from Kansas. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, morning, guys.
Morning.
I just had a quick question for you. I've been a lifelong Braves fan, and who do you guys think is going to win the National League Cy Young, and why is it Spencer Strider?
It's hard not to pick Spencer, right? You know what I want to say? I want to say Mike Soroka.
Yeah, come on back.
That means he's back and he's healthy, and the staff just got a whole lot deeper because they haven't been able to stay healthy. Looking around the rest of the league outside of Spencer Strider, Verlander going to the Mets, right? With him now and Scherzer kind of, recapturing that magic. I know DeGrom is gone. I know they shipped DeGrom off, but I feel like Verlander is probably going to be your namestay pick. But, you look at the Dodgers and that staff. You look at the Padres and what they're trying to do with that staff. But I'm with you. I'm going to go Spencer Strider, the nasty stash, throwing about 103 at your hands. Figure it out. I just want Mark Aston to be the PA guy. That's what I want right now. We'll get to the NL Cy Young later.
I love it. All right. Thanks for calling in, Matt. We appreciate it. Go Braves. Chop on. All right, guys. Picks.
Let's get to it. It's 7:50. Did we get a ruling on the last one? Did we get a ruling?
I'm so sorry, but he did, in fact, finish it. He said Blaine.
No, he didn't.
There was an N involved.
Blasphemous on all accounts. All right.
I have it frozen. I'll show you.
I don't care if it's frozen, thawed out, fried, smothered, covered, chopped, and delivered. He didn't say it. All right. Tonight, I do want to give a shout out to Gonzaga and LMU. Had that over at 154.5. Gonzaga scored 108 points. So I knew that was going to hit. So today, give me Detroit Murcielago with Antoine Davis trying to become the leading scorer all-time NCAA Division I basketball. And Oakland over 152.5. That's minus 110. Then I'm going a little hockey parlay here. Give me the Rangers Oilers under 7. The Penguins Islanders under 6. That's plus 214. David, what do you got?
All right, boys. I am going to go with the Rangers money line, plus 105. And then give me the Penguins money line, minus 105. Double hockey action. Let's heat it up, guys. Playoffs right around the corner.
All right, give me Yale money line, minus 130. And give me the Rangers and Penguins both plus 1.5. So that's minus 102.
No soccer bet today? You off the soccer train?
No soccer games today.
There's no soccer games today.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Nope.
Did Barcelona win yesterday?
I have no idea.
All right, Baby Cone. He's going with the Wild again. He's liking picking Minnesota, man. He's going Wild money line minus 110. Oilers money line minus 125. Get your booster bets in. Remember,
bet enemies
and everything. Got the form to fill out. Going to start looking at those standings again next Friday because we got some people that are kind of creeping close to 12. Remember, 12-0 gets you into the Hall of Fame. You can do a better job remembering that. Booster Club, 10 minutes to go on the Flaming Dragon Friday, where deep down we all know the under hit.
At this point now, might as well just say Blaine all the time.
Nah. Yeah, I mean, you're past at this point. All right, let's go to little donations. Ryan Gade, $5 donation. Appreciate it, Ryan. Says, here's $5 for Flaming Dragon to get a Shamrock Shake from Mickey D today. I actually do not know what that is.
So I got a McFlurry last night, and they have an Oreo Shamrock McFlurry. So I think that's what he's talking about. It's basically mint.
Let's go to Jimbo Ego with the $5 donation. Question for Chad, but Chad's not here, so we'll ask you, David. Can you confirm that David Cone is actually hashtag David Michigan?
Oh, no, I can't confirm that.
Chad will confirm.
You sure you can't confirm that?
No.
Chad will confirm.
Chad, don't confirm.
All right, let's go to Tyler Jarvis with a $20 donation in honor of college baseball starting this weekend. I felt the play bench cut. Childhood baseball movie edition was in order. Rookie of the year, The Sandlot. Angels in the outfield. Let's play ball and go.
Oh, wow. All right, I am playing. He said what? Rookie of the year, Angels in the outfield, and what was the other one? Sandlot?
Yep.
I'm playing Sandlot.
Yeah.
I am benching Angels in the outfield. And Rookie of the Year, I'm sorry, you're a vet now. Get out.
That's what I have too. Even though I watched Angels in the outfield more times growing up, I would play Sandlot, bench Angels in the outfield, Rookie of the Year.
They made a Sandlot too. I can't believe they did.
All right, let's go to Feeling Dangerous, 113 with the $5 donation. He says, I need an unbiased opinion on how far the Cavs can go in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, when you look at what side they're on, I mean, they have talent. They've had a good year. I just don't know if they have enough to win the whole thing when it comes down to superstar power. I mean, they're 4th right now in the East. Just to give you a pure update, 4th right now in the East. They are 38-23. Are you better than the Celtics or the Bucks? That's what this is going to come down to. And I just don't think you are. The Cavs have been a great surprise, right? Everybody thought the Cavs would be better, but they didn't think the Cavs would be, the 4th seed right now coming out of the East with a chance to move past the Sixers. I don't think there's a huge difference outside of, Joel Embiid's just a freak show for the Sixers and the Cavs. I just think the East is going to come down to the Celtics and the Bucks. But I think the Cavs have a really good year, make some moves in the playoffs, win some games. I don't think they're winning the conference. I don't think they're winning the NBA championship.
All right, let's go to Matty Ice, 1994. What does Howie Roseman have to do to still be one of the best GMs in the league this offseason?
Well, when the hardest part when you get to the mountaintop, they didn't step through it and win the Super Bowl. That's what hurts the most, is that people come and raid your coaches, right? OC's gone. DC's gone. Mm-hmm. You had like the perfect roster put together. That's why it has to hurt so bad as the Eagles fan that the defense didn't show up. Because you added Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from the Saints. You made all these moves. Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson, what are they doing? Blaine, you brought this up the other day. Are they done?
I think Lane Johnson's for sure done. I mean, he's coming off a hip injury.
I saw he's got
even the hip injury was hurting him during the playoffs and during those games. Kelce, I don't know. I mean, Jason, we'll see. So I think Lane's done. I think Jason might have another year, just try to get back to another Super Bowl. But even if you lose Lane Johnson, he's one of the best tackles we've had in the NFL the last 10 years.
Yeah, Hall of Famer for sure. Right? It's how much of the band can you keep together? How much space do you have to keep it together? But if anybody can do it, Howie Roseman's going to do it. I don't question Howie Roseman like I don't question Alex Anthopoulos. You've shown me enough. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Howie's shown you who he is.
All right, let's go to Dinkin and Nora, hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Who do you think Aaron Rodgers will get traded to? And if he does, can he make a playoff run with that team?
We've talked about the Jets. Well, I don't think he's going to the Dolphins, right? With Tua coming back. Don't think he's going to the Niners. So who's there? The Titans, the Saints, back to the Packers, and the Jets. My God, I don't know why, but my instinct's trying to tell me he's going back to the Packers.
That's what I said.
Now, we all know right now he's hanging upside down in some, darked out TV with, ayahuasca all in his system, probably seeing ghost pirates, like the minor league hockey team in Savannah. I don't know. I'm going to say Jets. I'm going Jets. What do you got, David?
No, I'm saying Packers.
Packers? What do you got?
Packers.
I think Jets. I think he ends up going to the Jets. Let's go to Travis Elrod. Play bench cut. Krispy Kreme, Shipley's, or Dunkin' Donuts? What is Shipley's?
They have one in Mobile, I think.
Shipley's.
Donuts.
Donuts, never had it.
I'm going to play Krispy Kreme with the light on. The second one was what? Dunkin' Donuts?
It was Shipley's, Dunkin' Donuts, and Krispy Kreme.
I'm gonna bench Shipley's. Hey guys, because you guys focus on this. I think they have one in Tupelo. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm sorry, Dunkin' Donuts, the really great coffee. All right, I don't get a lot of donuts.
I thought you loved Dunkin'.
I love the coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. That's the whole argument. That's why I said Starbucks, because it's the coffee, not the donuts. It's hard to screw up a donut. Let's be honest.
Well, I have to go Krispy Kreme, then Dunkin' Donuts, and then Shipley's because I haven't had Shipley's.
Yeah, Shipley's, believe it or not, you will once you eat one.
Well, that'd be great. I love getting a good donut.
I'll get one shipped in. I'll do this all day. It'll be by water on a ship.
J-Chain, can we get the over-under on Sang Blaine on DraftKings? Look, we're working on it, bud. I feel like it'd be a great one.
I think it would be one. Especially if I can control it.
Let's go to Jamal M. Sampson. What's up, Jamal? It seriously disappoints me that in the NFL Super Bowl, after winning while being a backup QB, you automatically get traded right after the original starting QB returns to training camp.
Part of the deal. But you know what? At least you won it. That's my thing. It's part of it, part of the business. What I always find fascinating is what people decide to do after winning the championship, right? Because some people build that Frankenstein team together, like the Rams did. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden in the year, everybody's just like rats running to another, like scurrying out of the way. Or do you say, we're going to try and just do whatever we can to keep everybody together? How's the chem? How's the locker room? How are we feeling about it? That's what I find fascinating. All right, one more before we wrap up.
All right, let's go to, we got a question here. How do you think the Braves do this year?
The whole thing. The whole thing. Depends on it. Is Mark Aston the PA guy or not? Keep going back to this. If Mark Aston is the PA guy for the Braves, they're not only winning the NL East, they're going to beat the Astros in the
Win it all.
They're going to beat the Astros in the World Series. I know I lied.
All right, poll.
Poll.
Does Jake and David go over 4.5 today?
Man, dadgummit.
Yes.
Yes, 71%.
Yes, 72.
Oh, yes, 66% no, 34%.
I blew it. Did your TTP hit, though? You said it, what, once?
What was my TTP?
Y'all said I said it twice before we went
You
past
said
the
Blaine,
clip.
Blaine.
No, I didn't.
You did.
He doubled up?
I said blame Blaine. Blame Blaine.
I will have to go back and check. But
Blame.
I thought he said blame.
Blaine.
That's what I said.
Do you guys think I wanted this? I don't want him to win.
No, I think you did.
Are you on crack?
I think you wanted to even the scales after we had the video of the whole beer pong incident.
Even the scales, no.
Of 2023.
I was correct in that video. I'm going to leave it.
We all know the truth. Blame Blaine. I'm just going to stop saying stuff that starts with B. I'm going to stop. All right? Appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on all social medias. Check out our shout out to Chad Henne. I appreciate him as well. Obviously, we had that thread go on this week. Again, this is something it's not going to be a one-day thing. We want to keep talking about this to keep men out of women's sports. Please help us. You can help us do that by continuing to share the show and getting it out there so people can know where to go to help. That's one of the biggest parts. Great job this week, guys. Monday's President's Day. Got a great show.
We do.
Something smart we cooked up. Did a little bit of research again. Got in the lab, figured it out. Remember, without you, there is no us. Be safe this weekend. Shout out to Bartesian. Shout out to our friends over there at Epic Will. Make sure you get that stuff done. Until next week, and like Chad Henne's career, now he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ. We're going. Gone.